Hello everyone, my name is Tavleen Singh and I'm a student at School of Biomedical Informatics, University of Texas Health Science Center at Houston, Texas. My presentation is titled Latent Linguistic Motives in Social Media Postings Resisting COVID-19 Misinformation. Here is a brief agenda about this presentation. I will start by providing an introduction and background about this topic and then state our study's objective. I will then walk you through the methodological framework that we have developed as a part of this study and summarize the results that we have obtained. Finally, I will talk about the limitations of our work and the scope of future work and discuss some of the conclusions that we have derived from the study. Social media has become an important source of information for many healthcare consumers, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, during which the in-person communications have been prohibited and discouraged. A lot of individuals are making use of these social media platforms to interact with their peers and healthcare providers in order to gain the required information. While on one hand, this online information dissemination does provide unique opportunities for individuals to engage, on the other hand, it also creates unexpected challenges in the form of viral outbreaks of false and misleading information. The presence of inaccurate information in online social media is a problem because it can lead to individuals practicing harmful health behaviors. It can decrease the effectiveness of public health interventions and also reduce the responsiveness towards the risk-related communications provided by public health agencies. And therefore, it is important to curb the spread of misinformation in online social media. However, we have limited understanding of how individuals respond to misinformation and how they perceive it. There have been some studies that have used computational approaches to identify misinformation spread and to model the stance-taking behaviors of individuals in online social media. These studies have largely ignored the social and cognitive factors that fuel misinformation spread. And it is important for us to incorporate these factors in order to have a comprehensive understanding of human misinformation interaction dynamics that can help us to develop resilient information dissemination approaches that are resistant towards the spread of misinformation. Therefore, our study objective was to develop a novel methodological framework to examine ways in which individuals resist and correct misinformation in online social media. And to do so, we performed the following three tasks. The first task was to classify the user's intentions using qualitative and automated approaches. The second task was to perform computerized text analysis of linguistic attributes embedded in social media postings. And the third task was to model relationships between linguistic features and dissemination of misinformation corrective posts. All right, so now moving on to the methods. This figure here shows the methodological framework of our study. The data source that we used in our study is Twitter, and we looked at two different kinds of attributes of the tweets. The first set of attributes were the dissemination attributes, such as the retweets, likes, followers, and friends that captured the extent of the spread of a particular tweet. And using these attributes, we categorized our Twitter data set into three different dissemination levels, that is high, medium, and low. The communication attributes that we studied were speech acts and the linguistic patterns. Speech acts capture the implicit user intentions as they post in online social media and as they interact with their peers using these platforms. Linguistic patterns are captured by the language and words that individuals use while interacting with others in online social media, and it tends to reveal users' personalities as well as their behaviors and motives. So during the first step of our analysis, we collected tweets from a COVID-19 specific repository created by Chen et al. We were able to retrieve close to 400,000 tweets from this repository. And from those 400,000 tweets, we randomly selected 1,400 tweets for further manual analysis. We use Searle's speech acts taxonomy, which defines 10 different categories of speech acts in order to identify user intent embedded within those 1,400 tweets. And in order to ensure the objectivity in the coding process, we involved two researchers to independently code a subset of 100 tweets in order to calculate the inter-rater reliability. During the second step, we use the manually annotated dataset created in step 1 in order to train a deep learning model called BERT-tweet for performing speech acts classification tasks. And we evaluated the performance of this model using metrics such as precision, recall, and F1 score. In the third step of our analysis, we used a COVID-19 misinformation specific dataset created by Memon and Carley. We were able to retrieve 3,702 tweets from this dataset, out of which close to 1,200 tweets were specifically calling out or correcting misinformation. And we applied our deep learning based intent classifier on these tweets to understand the user intention while correcting misinformation in online social media platforms. Further, we also identified the linguistic features using Luke software embedded within those tweets and statistically compared these Luke features across corrective and non-corrective tweets and also across dissemination levels within the corrective tweets. So now moving on to the results, here this figure shows the distribution of speech acts in our manually coded dataset. As we can see, the assertion, declarative, desire, question, and statement speech act classes had a higher expression in the dataset as compared to the other classes of speech acts. The individual's assertion speech acts reflected individuals' beliefs. A lot of individuals asked questions on Twitter about coronavirus, while other individuals posted relevant information in form of declaratives on Twitter platform. Since the distribution of speech acts classes was imbalanced in a manually coded dataset, we trained the BERT-tweet model using the top 5 prevalent speech acts classes as highlighted in this figure. Here is the performance evaluation of BERT-tweet model for the speech acts classification task. The overall model performance in terms of macro average F1 score was high, and it was 0.082. We also have provided the F1 scores for the individual speech acts classes. All the classes had obtained reasonable performance except for statement, which had a lower F1 score compared to the other speech acts classes. When we performed the post hoc error analysis, we identified that the intent classifier missed this class when it co-occurred with other classes. And also the presence of links within the tweets had impacted the classifier's performance in making correct predictions for this class. This figure here shows the distribution of speech acts within the misinformation corrective tweets, and these tweets have also been categorized by their dissemination levels. Some of the key takeaway points from this figure are that the presence of assertion, declarative, and question speech acts was higher in the low dissemination tweets, while the presence of directive and question speech acts was comparable across high and medium dissemination tweets. This table here shows the Luke variables that had significant differences across the dissemination levels within the corrective misinformation tweets. If we look at the variable that is words per sentence, the mean for this variable was highest in the high corrective, the high dissemination tweets. as compared to medium and low corrective dissemination tweets. And this difference was also statistically significant, which highlights the point that if a tweet contains more explanation as to why it's misinformation or tries to correct misinformation, there are higher chances of it propagating through social media platforms as compared to messages that provide low explanations about correcting misinformation. On the other hand, the variable that is words that contain more than 6 letters was more highly expressed within the low dissemination tweets. That means that if the message is more convoluted, if it contains words that have more than 6 letters, there are lesser chances of it propagating through social media platforms. And therefore, when we're trying to correct misinformation, we should be able to construct messages that contain more explanation, but at the same time, they should be comprehensible for the online social media users. And we also noticed that the Luke variables such as I, V, friend, drives, affiliation were also highly expressed in the high dissemination tweets, which again provides us with a correction strategy where we want to include the personal and inclusive words when we are trying to correct misinformation online, since that tends to resonate more with the online users via emotional proximity. This figure here shows the Luke variables that were statistically different across the corrective versus non-corrective misinformation tweets. As we can see, the expression of tone, a negative emotion, and anger was higher in the corrective tweets, which is expected since it reflects the frustration caused by misinformation and reflects the anger that individuals express when they're trying to correct misinformation online. While on the other hand, the expression of analytic, reward, and compare was less within the corrective misinformation tweets. And this provides us with an opportunity for improvement where when we are trying to correct misinformation online, we want to be able to increase the objectivity within the message or assertiveness within the message and provide more reasonable explanations, for example, as to why an individual should change a harmful behavior. And that can help in correcting misinformation spread in online social media platforms. All right, so now moving on to the limitations of our study. Since the distribution of speech acts in the manually coded data set was imbalanced, we were able to train the classifier with only 5 speech acts classes. However, in order to understand how individuals take a stance towards misinformation in online social media, it is important to consider all categories of speech acts. And when we retrieved the tweets from the 2 repositories, there were some tweets that were not retrieved during the hydration process because of the organizational review policies, such as tweet deletions and account suspensions. And there are some Twitter API restrictions that the researchers need to keep in mind when working with these data sets, such as the number of calls that you can make to the Twitter API, the costs involved in obtaining the Twitter data set, and the representativeness of Twitter users as compared to the overall internet users. Our future work will focus on increasing our qualitative coding efforts and improving the classifier performance, and also extracting interventional insights to increase information appraisal capabilities of individuals as well as communities. To conclude, misinformation spreads like digital wildfires in social media. And in order for us to model human misinformation interaction dynamics, it is important to integrate cognitive mechanisms and social processes. Deep learning can act as a bridge to scale up the qualitative analysis on large social media data sets. The language that individuals use in online social media platforms reflects their attitudes and has an impact on their behaviors. And all of this can be studied through cognitively enriched computational models. Our work lays the foundation for interventions to create resilient societies through amplified individual resistance towards misinformation. These are the references that I used for making my presentation. And I would like to thank my co-authors for their continued support and guidance, and also the funding resources for this study. Thank you for your attention. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions. Thank you.